What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
So I guess Iman Shumpert has a podcast. I don't know if Baron Davis is part of this podcast too. I don't know. I've never heard this podcast, never seen it. There's so many NBA player and prior NBA player podcasts. I can't keep up with all of them now, but looks like they got into a debate about Larry Bird and the NBA today. If y'all don't know, Larry Bird's the most popular player on this channel. Never would have thought that when I started this out. A lot of Larry Bird fans here, so if you are a Larry Bird fan and you're new here, go check out our Larry Bird playlist. I've got to have hundreds of Larry Bird videos at this point, and that's not an exaggeration, but anywho. Hey man, let's see what they have to say.
Play with a lot of people. Who was your favorite teammates in the league?
Man, I can't say that, bro. Like
so many,
dog. Like, you. Let's start with the Knicks. You, JR, right? Tyson.
Yeah.
Melo. Amari was my dog.
Yeah. That whole team was
Mike
wild.
Bibby.
Stevie Novak.
You know what I mean? Snowvac.
Novak, yeah.
Stevie was
he could shoot.
crazy.
You talk about, you look at somebody like Monte Ellis.
Yeah.
Love Monte to death.
Shout out to Monte.
You look at somebody like David Wesley early on.
David Wesley.
David Wesley to death.
Damn, David Wesley.
Great guard.
Eldon Campbell. You know what I mean? That's big homie. He is the original big homie. Nobody ever said big homie until we start calling Eldon Campbell big homie.
So you coined it? You coined it?
No. Everybody on the team, that was his nickname.
Oh, that was just his name. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody like DC, everybody would just call him big homie because it was like homie was a LA thing. And Eldon was like the epitome of the big homie.
The big homie.
Bro, he gonna barbecue. You know what I mean?
Oh, he was
gonna
really big homie with it.
He was a real big homie.
Yeah, he living the role.
No,
Who's the guy in the middle? I don't recognize him. Did he used to play in the league? Anybody know? Let me know.
Now you're hearing like as a basketball term, like that came from Eldon Campbell was the original big homie.
Copy, but he was really kicking it like that.
Yeah, he was a center. Jay Rich, I love. Steven Jackson, I love. Matt Barnes.
Wait a minute, so you saying Eldon Campbell can't DJ and barbecue?
No, he would barbecue and DJ.
He's saying he lived.
That's what I'm saying.
He had a flip flop song.
That was saying he was really kicking it like that. I was making sure he was
living the role. Yeah, he lived the role.
He was like, man, he was my guy, dude.
That's wild. As a fan, I would have never thought that.
That's what I'm saying.
As a fan, I would have never thought
the original big homie, bro.
Okay, yeah.
The original.
Guess he just answered my question. I think he just identified as a fan.
You need a plate,
Campbell,
right, man, dog? You need a plate, dog. Save a plate.
Eddie Jones was always great. I had Eddie Jones as a rookie. He was always great. DC, Eldridge McCasney was great. Who else? Jamal McGlure, that's my dog.
Jamal McGlure is tough.
Rest in peace, Robert Tractor Trailer.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was my guy. Man, I know I'm missing some people. And then I wound up playing with like Jason Hart at the Clippers, and he was my Pop Warner quarterback when I first played football.
Word?
And then I played with Bobby Brown with the Clippers, Craig Smith. All these dudes was like my young dudes. Bro, there's so many. You know what I mean? There's so many dudes. Ryan Hollins I wind up playing with, and we went to UCLA. And
I don't like Ryan Hollins. I think he has some horrible NBA takes, but that's me.
different span, but he was like my young dog. All these dudes that like came through my camp, I wind up start being on the team with them and like that.
That's bro as hell.
And like Eric Bledsoe, that was my young dog. DeAndre Jordan was my rookie. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I had to say, bro, my experience was more about the teammates, the brotherhood, the journey, and then as a hooper, if you ain't winning no championships, you want to be able to walk in somewhere and like your peers be like, man, that's that's Shump.
Yeah.
If they say that, you know what I mean?
Did your
Respect.
thing.
You did your thing. It's respect.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, no matter what level, you want to walk in the room and you want your peers, you want the legends, you want the greats to be like, hey, man, that's like you one of them ones.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, bro.
Yeah,
That's the
shout
only
out
other
to
accolade you can get.
Straight
you know
up.
what I'm saying?
People don't talk about that enough, but literally a head nod from another legend.
Come on, dude.
Like, it
Come
could
on.
be any legend over there. Like, any of them just see you out and about and give you that.
Come on, man. It's different.
It's like, bro, that mean more
It's
than
different.
All athletes say that with Michael Jordan.
straight up.
Bro,
If Michael Jordan don't acknowledge you, fam, like if he can't register who you are, bro, that's a sick
crushed.
feeling. Yeah, that's sick.
That's,
That's sick.
yeah, man.
Like,
it's
I ain't gonna lie.
You just want that, and any other player that played before us,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
You want
Because
that
like,
acknowledgement.
yeah, they us, we are them, and you know what I mean. And when you get out the league, you realize now watching the young dudes, they you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they not you. They their own one-on-one version of who they are,
Right.
right? And so like
But
they
they
may
all
be
part of-
compared to you,
but it's all
or
that-
in
it's
a
part of that-
replica,
it's
but
part
it's
of
a
that
part of
game,
that
that
thing, the
game.
essence, yeah. And like you, what is also need to change is like when we retire, we keep comparing errors. You know what I mean?
You said errors?
Errors. And
Oh,
like
areas,
who the
okay.
goat and all.
Not areas.
Like, it's just we need
errors,
to like,
mofo.
yeah, we can debate all that, but we need to appreciate the art and the essence. And so the retired guys, the older dudes, that's like why I like doing like TNT. You know what I mean? When I get a chance, because I like to big up the players instead of hating.
Yeah.
Because these dudes is different. Their essence is different. They get down, it's different. So we shouldn't be hating on them and being like, oh, you know, this era is soft. No, this era is electrifying. You know what I mean?
Actually,
Highly skilled. You know, and so we need to think about ourselves in this era, but like also like in the mode of these players instead of.
Listen, it's not as simple as that. There's this whole war going on between the old heads and these new cats, the fan bases, right? There is much more vitriol getting spat at old school fans and old school players, saying these guys suck. And it really started getting heated with J.J. Redick and his firemen and plumbers nonsense, and saying these guys couldn't survive in today's league. They weren't skilled. They couldn't dribble. All this other nonsense. Look at them. LeBron James back then would destroy these firemen and plumbers. All this, that, and the third. And, of course, they're going to fire back like, you kidding me? This watered-down, soft NBA now? You keep telling me they're more skilled, but the rules are more flexible now. They can... Half the moves they do are carries. That people couldn't do that back in the day, which is true. And, yeah, you know, it's not as tough. It's not as physical. You don't got the wear and tear on your body. It's easier to score. The defensive rules are... The rules in general are different. The NBA is such a different league when it comes down to the rule changes over time. And, you know, what's illegal, what's not illegal, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what's a violation. You know, it's so different. Now, with enough context and an understanding of the history of the league, you can probably come up with an idea how some players could have performed in different eras. Obviously, there's no time machine to make this happen, but it's fun barbershop talk. But listen, man, I do think the current NBA is soft. I don't think these guys are the most skilled thing since... I don't even know where I'm going with that analogy. But yeah, I don't think these guys are more skilled, like far advanced than people in the 80s, 90s, you know, early 2000s. I do not think that at all. My eyes don't lie to me. I'll tell you that, man. So, yeah. Yeah, I think today's NBA is softer. I don't think these guys are so far advanced, so far skilled. And I do think there are a lot of players in the past that would transition nicely into this spaced out 3-point shooting league. Even if you drop them how they were into the NBA now without letting them go through that transition of, working on their 3-point shot or working on their 3-ball to accommodate for how the NBA is today. Even players that I could drop them how they were in the 80s, drop them how they were in the 90s, and they would torch people today just with that skill set because they had that. But a lot of these guys today, they weren't great 3-point shooters for the ones that played, 10 plus years ago and are still playing. These guys slowly evolved, and with the increase of 3-point shooting, they started working on their 3-point shot more and acclimated. So I would imagine that a lot of players in the 80s and 90s would have worked on their 3-point shot more, and they would be shooting the threes with the frequency and at a higher clip and at a higher percentage had they had that transition period. Right, I've seen players that can't shoot the ball, was never even something close to a 3-point shot, turn into a 3-point shooter just because of they adapted. But people act like other players couldn't adapt. Anyway,
they're like critiquing them all.
Yeah, I like that the positive acknowledgement.
Oh, trust me, I've been talked plenty of times. So y'all better be lucky they changed the game and wouldn't let me do what they was letting do, where they could just hold side like this and guard.
But it's also like you got to think.
I'm like, boy, I'd have been excited to be rough.
It is an art.
It could have got rough
score,
out there.
Yeah. Right?
Real talk.
Alex English in this era could score and would score a lot of points because there's not a lot of people who can put the ball in the basket at that frequency. Period. Like, are you kidding me? Larry Bird in this era? Are you kidding me?
That's what be boiling my blood. But
it'd
people
been more rough though.
For who?
For Larry.
How?
And it starts.
What you mean?
How?
Just the physical capability.
He's 6'10", dude.
That's a lot of 6'10".
Okay.
Nah, it's a lot of that. That's all I'm saying. He birthed that. Don't get me wrong, he birthed it. I'm just saying. We hadn't seen it
Who's
then.
going to be matched up against Larry Bird? Karl Anthony Towns.
That's a nightmare, man.
for who?
Because that dude can play basketball. Really play basketball.
No, 100%.
Really play basketball.
100%.
Hey, bro, really play basketball.
That's not what the question was.
Hey, really play basketball, and he mean, and he like.
Oh, he talking wild too.
And he mean, and he.
But I'm saying, what is he gonna do? But what is he gonna do with KD?
What is he gonna do with KD?
Yeah, KD is.
What is he gonna do?
What is KD gonna do with Bird?
Yeah, KD can't do nothing with Bird. Are you sick? Man, come on, man. What are y'all doing, man? What the hell is KD going to do with Larry Bird? And Larry Bird was far more physical than KD. So, KD is, don't get me wrong, one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen. 7-foot sniper. He's incredible. And I wish he would be more aggressive as a scorer, but he's not. But Bird would have more success as long as they let him get a little physical with KD than KD gonna have with Bird. Bird, his bag. Bird's bag, his bag of tricks is too deep. It is. And I love KD. I love his bag. I really do. But one-on-one, and I'm letting them play some defense, I'm taking Larry Bird. But I don't know if they're going to let Larry be physical. See, Larry Bird's a very underrated defender. I think KD is underrated as well defensively, but Larry Bird especially an underrated defender. Not necessarily hardcore lockdown, but team defender, definitely. Larry Bird's a far better rebounder. Larry Bird's a far better post player. Larry Bird's much better around the basket. Yeah, Larry Bird. The only thing, if you want to make an argument, KD, scoring-wise, has over Bird is because you can make an argument for KD being a better jump shooter and three-point shooter, but it's very close. It's very close. They're both two of the greatest shooters to ever play the game. But what Bird can do closer to the basket and the interior, gotta go Bird. And, come playoff time, especially, even in today's NBA, they do let the teams be a bit more physical, players be a bit more physical. So, especially that, Bird gonna have his way with KD. I love both of these guys, but like he said, what the hell KD gonna do with Bird? He ain't do nothing to Bird.
I was just about to ask that.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
No, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think I want to see
bro,
what
you
he'll
don't
do
want
to
to see
KD.
that.
I don't think I would. Especially
what?
because Larry is, again,
Like,
mean.
how
mean.
many times?
I know you said we were supposed to stop doing
How
this.
many times in the history?
Let it start.
But think about it. How many times in the history of the game?
It's happening.
How many times in the eras of all the dope stars, when they match up, ain't nobody cracking each other like that? You know what I mean?
Sure, saying it's even.
You feel what I'm saying?
It's way more even than you think.
It's way more intense. And, a Kobe Bron matchup, we wasn't getting many of those, but when we did get the matchup, it was like
crazy. Yeah, crazy.
These motherfuckers ain't going off and killing you couldn't determine. You just have to
let them play the game.
You have to let their style.
Yeah.
Right?
Play
And
all
then
the
with
game
two
different.
juggernauts, like, who backing down? KD ain't back.
Kobe, obviously, LeBron's a much bigger player, but Kobe wanted LeBron as much as he could. He was seeking LeBron. LeBron, he's, how he is. His different play styles. Kobe's a killer. Kobe want to seek you out. Kobe wants you defensively, this, that, and the third. But when LeBron did guard Kobe, I'm not talking about the record. I know the record between the two. I'm talking about one-on-one matchups when these two guarded each other. Kobe Bryant wrecked LeBron.
Backing down from nobody. Ain't nobody stopping
I'm just saying,
KD from scoring.
I get it. I'm just saying, like.
Ain't nobody stopping Larry Bird.
But I have seen when you get physical with Kevin Durant, when they allow you to play, get under his chest a little bit, put a little forearm on him, put a little hand on him, getting his grits, or even just playing really good sound defense, you can make Kevin Durant uncomfortable. And for me, that's the big difference, because you couldn't make Larry Bird uncomfortable. And Larry Bird did what he did in his gauntlet conference, in his gauntlet era, his physical era, where you had to find comfort in being uncomfortable. That's not the NBA now. And I've seen Kevin Durant get pushed out of his comfort zone, and his game suffered for it. That's all I'm going to say. And if it comes down to that, it comes down to that. Continue.
This would have been way better than that was guarding Larry Bird.
No way.
I'm sliding my feet a lot better than that.
No
bro.
way. Bro.
I ain't gonna lie to you,
look,
bro.
Man, look.
I'm digging out that spin he had.
You wear $1,000 shoes.
That spin he had.
Bro, you
I'm
wear
digging that out.
$1,000 shoes. Y'all wear
Larry, I'm digging that out. Even a lot of that Mike was doing. Like, Mike, I don't know why.
No.
I don't know why.
All right,
We're not gonna do this.
This is what we about to.
I love Mike.
We about to stop this right there.
What?
Especially with him.
Please stop.
You would not take a shower in that shower. You would not wear a jock strap that was washed that was hand washed at somebody's apartment. You would not.
He right. Look,
You would not play. Hey, bro, you would not play.
No, you heard the story.
Bro, you would not play in no low top Converse with no insoles.
I would have been.
And get 7.
I would have been.
And be running down the court.
I would have been.
You would have been complaining.
Thank you, Baron Davis. They complain now, and they got all the advanced stuff. They got all the luxury stuff, man. They are catering to these guys. No back-to-back-to-backs, no back-to-backs, all this stuff, man. All the rest, all this, and they still complain. Playing 65 games a year, still complaining. And these guys back in the day, they felt it was a moral obligation, a professional obligation to play basketball. No matter how they felt. No matter how flat and uncomfortable those Converses were. No matter. Those guys just went out and played. They didn't complain. They loved the game. They loved to be there for the fans. They wanted to compete, man. You know? Pain's part of the game. Get out of here, man. I love KD to death, man. He's one of my favorite players, but taking Larry Bird. One-on-one matchup, still taking Larry Bird. And KD's amazing. He is, but Larry Bird could play. Larry Bird will be Larry Bird in both eras. Larry Bird would be even more of a statistical monster in this era. Kevin Durant would be a lesser version of himself in a previous era. I truly believe that. Maybe he gets some tougher skin if he actually played back then. Possible. But I don't know. But, just based on the evidence I've seen from both players, they're definitely Bird. Definitely Bird. And like I said, KD, for especially his era of basketball, one of the best scorers I've ever seen. But my only problem with KD is that he's not aggressive enough, man. He's not. For as accurate as he is, the amazing shooter that he is, mid-range, three-point, pure, so easy, effortless at his size especially, but he's not aggressive enough, man. And I get it. He wants to play the right way. He's like, I can get my shots efficiently. Let everybody else cook. But sometimes, man, you got to just keep crushing these guys' skulls, man. The best way you can, how you can impact it. Anyway. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Larry Bird and our Kevin Durant playlist. Catch you on the next one. Iman Shumpert is tripping. We out, baby.